everybody, it's Val again here in the City of Angels, and this time I'm here in Malibu in front of Creative Visions, which is an incredible melting pot of many angels from around the world who are making a difference through art and media. And this place was founded by an incredible angel named Kathy Eldon, inspired by her son, Dan Eldon. I'll tell you more about them in just a moment. But in the meanwhile, I'd love you to meet an angel by the name of Cary Sullivan here in the Dan Eldon Gallery for Emerging Artists. And we're about to meet her right now. So thank you for joining us for another segment of Angels Among Us. And there she is. Hi, Cary. I was just talking about you. I know you don't think you're an angel among us, but you are.
Thank you.
So I've been telling everybody that you're this multi-talented angel among us, and of course you don't think you are, which is one of the things that makes you an angel among us. And as I was saying, angels can be a little devilish and fun too, so please don't feel that pressure. By angel, I mean people who are making a difference moment to moment, and it can be just in their interactions with people. But you're doing a lot of different things, and I know you don't like to talk about yourself, but just tell us a few briefly. What are the many hats that you wear?
Okay, well, I work with my husband, whose name is Rocky Dawani, who's an African reggae artist who does a lot of social, humanitarian, and environmental work all over the world. And we have an organization called Africa Live. And Africa Live grew out of our producing events in Ghana. And so every time that we do these large-scale events, we always have a humanitarian or social part of it. So very oftentimes we work on water issues in Ghana. So I brought you guys a image of one of our projects that we did with UNICEF and the Carter Center, which this was a project we were working on eradicating guinea worm in northern Ghana. And at the time that this was shot, Ghana was the second leading guinea worm country in the world, and since this picture's been taken, guinea worm has been eradicated in Ghana, which is
yes, for amazing. Closing the door because there's other people in other rooms. So let's get you closer to the picture, and can you tell us what's happening? That is amazing.
Okay,
say what you just said again. Guinea worm has been.
Guinea worm, which is a terrible waterborne disease, which very often than not affects children because it's a very simple disease to stop in its tracks, because all you have to do is filter the water, which I'll show you another picture that you can see about that. All you need to do, the cyclops is big enough that it can be filtered through water. So this is, you can see a very pertinent image of where people go to get their water during the dry season. You've got the cows, you've got people on bikes, you've got children, and they're all drinking out of the same water source. And obviously you can see this is not a very good source of water. And that's why it often affects children, because the adults know to filter the water, whereas the kids will just get thirsty and run down and grab a cup of water. And that's who gets the guinea worm. And guinea worm is a terrible disease that it's a long worm that comes out of one of your extremities, usually your foot, but it could be your arm, it could be your breast. It's not pretty, and you have to keep twisting the worm. It can take 3 months for the worm to come out, and it's very debilitating, especially to farmers who need to work, because your leg swells up to such an extent that you can't walk. So for anybody who has it, a child who's got it can't go to school, a woman who has it can't do her work, can't farm, can't take care of her kids, etc., etc., etc. So this is right here. here.
Now these are your photographs, and this is the way you're using your art to shine a light on this issue,
Yes.
right? So you are a creative activist,
Yes.
which is something that everybody is here at Creative Visions. You're
Yes.
angels who use art, creativity, and media to shine a light on these issues, and so you're a very talented photographer. So I wanted to show everybody this through
And
your
so
eyes.
this is the simple. These look like drums, but these are actually water containers, and that's actually a water filter right there on top of the water. So you can see that the guinea worm cyclops is so big that it can actually be filtered through cheesecloth.
Wow. So let me look. I did think that these were drums at first.
Right. These are drums right here, but those are water containers.
Wow. Let's get a good look at that whole thing. So were you in this village at this time
Yes,
for
so
this issue, or
yes,
you
and
noticed
I was doing
it?
field work with Rocky and with Africa Live and with Bob Downey, Rocky's senior brother, who is going to be a chief in one of these villages up in northern Ghana.
And Africa Live is?
Africa Live is an organization that uses music as a tool of social change. So in all of its various formats. So that's why I was saying when we do these big concerts, we always have a humanitarian, social, or environmental arm of the concert. And usually we choose which one we're going to focus on. This particular year, I think this was 2008, we were working on guinea worm.
And it's a non-profit organization
Yes,
that
it's a
you and Rocky
non-profit
have
organization.
for this issue. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. So how did you learn about this issue? How did you know
We
about
were
it?
working with UNICEF and with the Carter Center, Jimmy Carter's organization that does a lot of work in Ghana, because Jimmy used to be a peanut farmer and Ghanaians love their peanuts. So Jimmy likes to spend time in Ghana because they're all peanut farmers. And so he is very interested in what's happening in Ghana, and has invested a lot of money in his foundation to helping eradicate these types of problems like guinea worm.
So has there been a difference?
Yes. So since this time, guinea worm has been eradicated. in Ghana.
Wow. Guinea worm has, say that again, guinea worm has been eradicated.
Since 2008.
Wow.
And the most, our primary purpose is to that we were saying about using music as a weapon of social change. A lot of times pieces of paper and stuff like that are not going to change people's behavior. So we use music to get into get into people's mind. We've done songs about clean water and then translated it into many different languages, and so really working towards creating behavioral change.
Unbelievable. I love it. And then there is this incredible exhibition that takes things even further that's beautiful. It's called Soul Adventure.
Yes.
And it's all around us, you guys, right here in the Dan Eldon Gallery at Creative Visions. And we'll meet other angels here soon. And I was going to ask Cary if she would kind of take us through these beautiful pictures, which, by the way, are available for sale. And does it help the cause if people buy these too?
Yes, 10%,
Okay.
actually 50%.
Wow.
50% of these go to Creative Visions.
Wow.
To support their programs for supporting creative activists all over the world. So 50% of all sales. And then you have your costs. So
Wow.
there's very little profit margin,
Wow.
which is fine and which is a good thing, because I'm really happy to be able to support Creative Visions and all their endeavors, because I absolutely believe in what they're doing.
See, I told you you're an angel. All right, so do you mind taking us through? I know, put you on the spot.
So this was one of the very first time I ever went to Africa. I lived there for a year and went to the University of Ghana, and I was taking a course on African traditional religion, and I asked to be taken to a village to see some rituals. And I was introduced to this woman right here. She was a priestess / healer of the shrine where this village was. And when I took this photograph of her, she was actually, they told me she had fell under possession. And so I asked if I could take the photograph, and they said that I could, but my film would probably not come out. So when I developed the film was all one negative with no breaks in between. The breaks you see here, like this would be a traditional break in a 35mm film. There's actually an image in between the breaks. And there's layers upon layers upon layers of images on top of the original images that I shot, which I did not take. And like
Meaning
I said,
you don't recognize any of those images?
No, I don't recognize those other images.
At all?
No.
Wow.
And so like this one in particular, we're about 2 hours from the ocean, and you can see that she's standing in front of a building in a village, but behind her you see the doorway from the building she's standing in front of. Behind that you see the ocean and the sea and boats, but none of this was there.
And you don't remember taking any of these
No, and the
images at all?
film was not run through the camera multiple times, and it was not affected by Photoshop. These are not photoshopped at all. And like I said, I've been sitting on these photos for about 20 years, and I figured 2012 was a good time to release them.
And your professor was telling you something when you were doing it.
Well,
yes?
when I showed him the pictures, I was, completely, I mean, I didn't really know what happened to it. I just know that I didn't take the other pictures, and he said that it was a possibility that the woman projected these images from her mind onto the film. And this was from my professor's mouth, who was a very stand-up guy and very conservative guy. And so, I leave it up to the viewer's opinion. All I know is that the additional images I didn't take. Wow. And so the film is just printed in large strips. And I'm actually planning on doing a show probably the next time I show these images. I don't know if that will be my next photography show, but it will be the next time I show these images. I'm going to print them out as one big roll and make them life-size.
Wow.
And probably put them in a circular gallery, so you could walk around in a circle and see the whole story from beginning to end.
And we're posting some under the A Reporter section at AngelsAmongUsTV, so you can get a good look at them.
Okay,
and if you want to contribute or buy, we'll put on the screen how you can do that.
Awesome.
So maybe you can show us some more too.
Sure.
Okay,
So these are some of the ones, like I said, where you can see the longer strip. You can see many of the, so this is probably one, two, three, four different pieces. And as you can see, there's images in between the lines.
Oh yes, I do
And
see
there's
that.
many images on top of each other. There's a pink cathedral going this way, which wasn't at the location that I was at when I shot them. I was, like I said, I was in a village. And same with this one. There's many different people who appear underneath. And you can see them right here. You can see this girl, but she actually has somebody else's earring in the middle of her head.
And you don't know where that's from.
No,
That doesn't
and
even
like
ring a
this
bell.
woman, you can see there's a face on her breast, and then there's hair right here. This woman's face is gone. There's somebody else right down here. You can see their eyes. This person keeps recurring. This child with the cross on, who I did not take a picture of. Wow. And then there's people going this way who are carrying water or something. They're carrying something in a bowl. This is the primary woman. This is the priestess. And it's interesting that it's all 333, 333, and today is 12, 12, 12, and 12, 12, 12 is 333.
Yes! Wow!
Yeah, so I noticed that
we're at 12, 12, 12 today, everybody, in case you're wondering what we're talking about.
So isn't it interesting? Look, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Everything is 3.
Goodness.
And look at her cloth is even 3s. 3s, 3s.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
And see here, you can see more of the longer. That's why I wanted to print them out like this, so you can really see the full strips.
And it's also like going on an adventure as you walk through it. You know what I mean? Like right now, it's called Soul Adventure, and that's what I feel like we're doing.
And every time I look at them, I see stuff that I've never seen before, which is, you know,
every time
I've never blown them up this big. Wow. So as I've been showing them to people, I keep seeing new things too.
Wow, that's amazing.
I mean, look. Every time I see something new, like I'm just seeing like, what's that strange shot? I don't know what it is. And this is just a little, this was the primary picture and then
a description.
A description.
Which I am going to put up as well. Oh, okay.
And so this was very interesting because this was the end, towards the end of the roll of film. And these images, these are the same images of the sea, which I didn't shoot. And there's actually 3 full images that were on my film. And this is a slave castle. This is one of the slave castles in Ghana. You know,
what does that mean?
All along the coast in Ghana, that's where they took the people who would become slaves in America and North America and the Caribbean and South America. They all came from West Africa. And so the Portuguese, the Spaniards, the English, they all built their castles to house the slaves and then export them. And so this is one of the slave castles. So it's very interesting that and then right behind here you see a shrine. That's a traditional African religious shrine right there, which keeps reappearing many, many times. You see that here, here, here.
Show me again.
Yeah, here, here, here. It appears over and over and over again.
Step back and show everybody. Oh, isn't that amazing? So,
very interesting.
So what do you make of it? What's your interpretation of what's going on with these images that you didn't shoot?
I think I tend to believe my teacher because I know, I think film is a sensitive, what's the word?
Medium? Maybe?
Medium, and I think especially at that time, you know, when people, this was pre-digital, pre-cell phones, she was obviously became possessed in order to transport information, because she was telling her people who were about 2 hours from the coast that one of their relatives was sick. And so she was a medium for that. So she was projecting it through voice, through what she was seeing in her mind. So the only thing I can think is possibly that what she was seeing in her mind somehow ended up on my film, because of, look at this little boy standing in an archway holding a little fish, but he's sideways.
Wow. So this opened up your mind and your heart.
You see, she's there, she's here.
Yes.
This is obviously not there.
Wow. And you don't remember shooting that?
No, I did.
Oh my, that's amazing. So this whole experience opened you up to amazing possibilities.
And then I think that, you know, I just felt like I don't think I wanted to show it until now, because I don't think people were really ready for it. And I think in 2012 people are much more open towards these types of experiences that are kind of unexplainable in a sense. You know, there's still a lot of people who even the guy who helped me with some of the printing, he didn't believe it. So, and that was fine. That was his right.
Yes.
That was absolutely his right. So I'm not saying that this is what it is. You have to interpret it however you want to interpret it.
So I'm worried we're going to run out of film, and you have so many important things to say. And here's one thing that I would love to ask you. Here you are making a difference with your art and in the way you're being with people. How can we each make a difference moment to moment? Any ideas about that?
I think being conscious moment to moment and thinking about every moment that, you know, to stop and be in the moment. I think
That's really important. And then I think that that whole thing about each and every one of us being able to make a difference, I think that I absolutely believe in that. And people like Kathy Eldon and Creative Visions is just a testament to that. And how one person's tragedy she turned into creative activism for hundreds of people for now more than 20 years. And is continuing to do so today. And I was a huge fan of Dan Eldon's, and now here I am showing my work at his gallery in his name, which I know he would have loved. And I very much feel his spirit here with us. And I do think that if you are a creative person and you believe in activism, that you can combine the two and make a difference. Absolutely, everybody can make a difference in their own little way. Whether it's planting one tree or planting a million trees, you know, it's still the same. You're still being active.